In the era of Me Too and the recent hyper-feminist movement, a lot of what that movement represents has been shattered by extremists. Men are not being taken seriously or treated as human beings at all. There is a viral video that has social media in a chokehold right now regarding a man named Brett Fairley. Brett Fairley was being manipulated in the court system and being taken advantage of by a woman simply because she is a woman. Let's take a look.
This is the story of me agreeing to get an older woman pregnant and then her trying to ruin my life. When I was 23, I had a one-night stand with a girl from my hometown named Maria. We both knew it was nothing more than that, and we didn't speak after. Several months later, I received a text from her saying that she hadn't been lucky in love and she wanted a baby before it was too late. So she asked if I would get her pregnant and I wouldn't have to bear any responsibility, like a sperm donor. I considered it, and I first thought no, but after some time to think about it, I thought it'd be the right thing to do for someone struggling. So we filled out an ironclad agreement, and basically I wouldn't be responsible at all.
Okay, we need to stop there. There's no such thing as an ironclad agreement when you're going through a process like this, unless you're going through a sperm bank. That's the only way you're going to be protected. Let's keep going.
A while later, she told me she was ovulating, and then a few weeks after that, she told me she was pregnant and it had worked. I went back to California for work, and we didn't speak after that. Unbeknownst to me, she contacted my family behind my back and invited them to the baby shower. They then began getting dinner or whatever regularly, and as she got to know my parents started encouraging me to be in the baby's life, and once I found out it was a little girl, I thought it was the right thing to do.
Okay, this woman is obviously off her rocker. She is contacting this man's parents. That is the biggest blaring red flag. They had an agreement that he was going to be a sperm donor. Why would she then contact his parents and act like they're in a legitimate relationship? That is sick. That's sick in the head.
I flew home to be there for the birth, and I got a tattoo of our daughter's middle name before she was born. After our daughter was born, Maria wanted us to be together and be a family, and when I said I didn't want to do that, she wouldn't let me see my daughter. My main source of income at the time was the Airbnb that I owned, and she said this a few months after she was born. I felt bad, so I let her move in for several months, rent-free. Once she moved out, she told me this: "I've never done anything to warrant supervised visits, but I agreed to keep the peace." I would come home as often as I could to see our daughter, and things were usually okay when I was there. These are all from her Facebook.
Look at what this woman is doing. She's posting this stuff on Facebook as if they're in a legitimate relationship. She is trying to make herself seem legitimately in a partnership with this man and dragging him all over social media. This is insane. This actually needs a padded room.
One Halloween, I didn't want to wear matching costumes with Maria, so she wouldn't let me see my daughter for a while. And
he wouldn't wear matching costumes with the mother of the child. That's not his girlfriend. That never was his girlfriend. He wanted nothing to do with her from the beginning. Keep going.
When our daughter was being baptized, I drove a 14-hour round trip from Nashville to attend. And because I didn't want to see Maria the night before, she didn't allow me to come to the baptism at all. Soon after this, she served me with child support, saying that our original contract wasn't valid because our daughter didn't have a social security number yet. And I didn't fight her on it. I didn't have the time. I was living away. I ended up paying her $10,000 up front and $750 a month. I was able to move home soon after that, and I began seeing our daughter regularly. Everything was going really well until I got a girlfriend. Even though she had a boyfriend who was regularly around our daughter, she said that my girlfriend couldn't be around our daughter. I was able to get our daughter for an afternoon, and Maria asked what I was doing. I told her that I was with my girlfriend and we were at Lowe's together. She freaked out. I said I'd bring her daughter back to her as soon as we were done, but instead Maria drove to Lowe's, apparently called my dad and was running up and down the aisle screaming. I don't know what actually happened, but she was freaking out, just blowing up my phone, thinking she was in danger. And keep in mind, my girlfriend is a mom as well as a nurse. Our daughter was never in any danger. When I offered Maria and my girlfriend to get to know each other so they'd be comfortable, with my daughter being around, she immediately said no and called my girlfriend a word that rhymes with chore and refused to get to know her. Maria then made a public post saying that I was a deadbeat dad and that I hadn't seen our daughter in weeks. Here I am with our daughter just a few days prior to this post. I also left my best friend's bachelor party a day early so I could be home for Father's Day, and she still wouldn't allow me to see her. She even said this to my grandmother. She had her friends comment mean things on my girlfriend's social media multiple times, even though my girlfriend has never been anything but nice to Maria. Because Maria tends to do this, I want to make sure that she doesn't twist the story and make it seem like I abandoned our daughter. I recently found out that our daughter isn't mine. I don't know who the dad is, but I've had 2 paternity tests done, and they both say this. I believed Maria when she told me that I was the only possible father. The situation was weird, but I was always happy to be a dad. I know that Maria already knew she was pregnant. She had to have, when she asked me to get her pregnant. I didn't think that was something that someone would lie about to another human being.
Okay, so this man is very obviously naive, okay? Be that as it may, he did not deserve what happened to him. This is harassment. He was completely destroyed mentally, emotionally, physically even. I'm sure this took a toll on him. They went after his grandmother. You got grandma in on this? This is absolutely insane. And the fact that she got away with it, got him to pay her $10,000, $750 a month after that, and completely ran his name through the mud when he wasn't even the father is actually crazy. And of course, in the court system, the man is not going to get any sort of custody. That's just not how it works. The woman gets full custody and she can do things like this with no ramifications whatsoever. Maria, the mother of the child, actually came with a response video, and here it is.
Before you all start believing his shit, there's just a few things that I want you to take into consideration. Is first, the collection date was August 10th, 2024. Well, I had my daughter on August 10th, 2024.
So she is saying that the collection date for the DNA testing was on that date and that he didn't have the daughter on that date. But in fact, he just showed a recording of her that is dated on that date where he is in possession of the child and watching the child and recording the child, and it's in his home. So obviously she's lying, but even on top of that, that's her only feedback. That's her only comment on this entire story is, you got the DNA on a different day. You're such a liar. No, he's not the father, Maria. He's not the father. That's the point. And you rake this man through the mud. That's what I'm talking about. These men are being taken advantage of in the court system. There are a lot of men who are out there not being able to have custody of their children because that's just how the court system works, and they really want to be good fathers. A very, very good friend of mine actually was taken advantage of in a similar way. He was married and got divorced, and his wife had been an internet influencer. So one of her followers, after she posted that they were getting separated, literally within hours, slid into his DMs and asked if he was okay. You know that trick. And so basically they started talking. She came to visit him for an entire month, leaving her 2 kids from 2 different fathers at home, thousands of miles away, under whoever's care. And from then, they developed this weird, long distance internet relationship. He came to visit her a few times, and then she refused to get on birth control. So he said, all right, I'm not going to touch you. I'm not going to touch you. I'm not going to get involved. I don't want to be your 3rd baby daddy. Okay. And they're in their 20s at this point, like mid 20s. And she's like, okay, I promise if anything happens accidentally, I'll get on plan B. Mind you, they're playing Russian roulette, but I digress. He said, okay, if you promise you'll get on plan B afterwards, then that's totally fine. And she was on top, and he said, get off at that moment. And she refused to. She sat there and made sure that she got pregnant and refused to take plan B. So that's what happened, and she got pregnant with his child, and it was just so that she could use him, just in the way that Maria is using this man. Unfortunately, it is his child, and he is the father, but after she said that she was going to keep the child, he made sure that he flew thousands of miles there on the day of her birth and would try to visit. In the meantime, the mother would harass his family. She harassed people that he was dating. There are actual police reports out against her on felony revenge things that she had sent to people. She threatened to ruin his entire family. things like that. To this day, she sends him twerking videos and screenshots of other men sexting her. It's just really, really crazy, and he doesn't care. He just wants to see his child, but she will not let him see his child. She just sends him pictures of the child with random men that she's always with. She's always in a different relationship, always having random men around. She lives in a 3-bedroom apartment with 7 people. It's crazy. And then when he got a lawyer to see if he could have any sort of parental rights over this child, the lawyer told him, I'm going to be honest with you, even if these kids were being R-worded, you would not have a chance. I want to repeat that again. Even if the kids were being assaulted in that way, he would have no ability to have parental rights. He would have no custody. And then the lawyer went into a whole spiel about someone that he also represented who knew his kids for sure, and there was proof that these kids were being R-worded by their grandfather, and the father could not have any rights over the kids. There was no way to get the kids in his custody. That is just how the court system works. I know this is an unexpected video that you would never expect from a blue-haired girl. You'd probably expect me to talk about the patriarchy. But let me point out that none of this would ever happen if we didn't live in a patriarchal society. The patriarchy is the very reason this happened. Under the current patriarchal system, men believe that women's sole purpose in life is to create life and have children, and that fathers shouldn't be expected to raise children. It should be the mother. And that the fathers should provide money to make sure the kids are supported. And that's really the only sort of involvement that the father should have. That is under the current patriarchal system. The current patriarchal system thinks that the main source of care should come from the mother. And look where that gets us. Men having no rights, being abused by the system, and women desperately trying to be mothers before their eggs expire, posting proof online of their psychotic version of reality in an attempt for validation from a patriarchal society. It is grotesque, and it shows that the current patriarchal society hurts women and men. Maybe we need to evaluate the current system we live in. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!